Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is fashion, travel, and fitness. And today we're going to be talking about arts and autism. Joining me, as always, on this show, and seems like so many others, is my dear friend, colleague, and a huge part of this platform here at USA Global TV. Her name is DIANN BOEHM. She is a co-host of 3 shows. She is an expert panelist on the Talking Heads panel. She's an expert presenter on Talking Heads. She's an elevated listener on our elevated listening team. And I could go on and on. But most importantly, in addition to all of her professional success as an author and as a teacher, as an actress, as a singer, she leads her life with her heart. She has an incredible community of people who are all heart-centric, and we just love her. So let's bring her on, DIANN BOEHM.
Hi, thank you, Dr. JACALYN. You're so kind. I wish my mama, I hope she's hearing it from heaven.
Yes, I'm sure she is. And I mean every word of it, DIANN. You just are a true bundle of joy, I should say. So we just came off of a wonderful show, the United Kingdom News and Culture. And I just feel like each and every show we do is really about helping inspire people, giving people an opportunity to come forward and share their story, and also letting people know that they're not alone, that whatever they're experiencing, someone else is experiencing something similar or something that they can understand how that other person feels. So we've got a show like that today as well. Before we bring on our guests, I see they're backstage, their camera's not connected.
Mhm.
I want to spotlight you and for you to share a little bit about your background and also why it's important to you as a person that people understand the value of sharing and communicating.
Sure, I'll be happy to. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show. It's an exciting show we have today. But in answer to your questions, Dr. JACALYN, my books are all about being kind to one another, to love yourself, use your imagination, etc. And it is important to share. We all, even if you think you don't, you do. We just have to discover what our gifts are. Our gifts can be anything just by you're really good at talking to people, or maybe you're just that smile, that you have this glorious smile, but you might be shy. But when you share that smile, that's a gift. And I also believe that the more people you meet, the more people who help you, that connecting. I love to connect people. So if I meet someone, like I have this new publicist, I'm so excited about him, and I want people to know about him so that I'm sharing something that's helping me, and if I figure they could help them as well, I want them to know about him as well. If I meet someone who really has a story to tell and I think they should write a book, I'm going to share that with them, and I'll help them figure out how to make that possible. Sharing makes me tick, connecting makes me tick, and I think that's what the world's all about, to help one another. Hope I didn't talk too long, Dr. JACALYN.
No, that's what we do here. We talk and we listen, right?
That's right.
So, DIANN, I want to play your clip, Song of Peace. I think it's so important, especially, it's amazing to me how you wrote this book, had this clip created, and what's going on in the world. We need so much more of this. So would you share a little bit with our audience, the backstory?
Sure, I'll be happy to. I've always wished for peace in the world, even though we all know the story about earthlings and so forth, always fighting. Hello. But I think if we could just have a moment of peace. So I actually have 2 books out that deals with that theme. A Song with Peace, though, was very important to me. A long time ago, my son, whom I quietly dedicated this book to, when he was 5 years old, he went to see Santa Claus. And, every little kid wants to tell Santa Claus what they want for Christmas. And this was the first year that they videoed your little kiddo on Santa Claus's lap. And when Santa asked my son what he wanted, he looked at Santa with his cute big blue eyes and he said, "I just want peace on earth." And Santa was so surprised. And that always stuck with me. And he's always been like that, just wanting to create peace and help people be happy. And so one day I was working out in the garden, and I thought, we really need to write a song of peace. And then I went, oh my gosh, that's the title. And it went from there. And who would have known by the time this book came out that more skirmishes, there's always skirmishes going on in the world, but a huge one, as you know, is going on right now in Ukraine, and a lot of people are in misery. And so I just think this is a very timely thing. And anyone who reads this book and also can do the movement, which we can talk about later, but can participate to just help pray for peace on earth.
Thank you, Diane. Let's take a look at this clip. And I've got it right here. Here we go.
Kapayapaan, kapayapaan, kapayapaan.
Diann Floyd BOEHM's A Song of Peace tells the story of a young lad named Tommy whose fervent wish for peace on earth touches the hearts of his friends and family, spreads to his community, and eventually unites the whole world around making his dream of peace a reality for everyone. Sit down with the children in your life and share Tommy's amazing story of love and hope. Sing your own song of peace and invite the children to join you. Tommy's tale is more than just a story. It's a movement, and everyone's warmly welcome to take part.
Kapayapaan, kapayapaan, kapayapaan,
You'll find A Song of Peace, along with many other wonderful learning and enriching opportunities for children of all ages, at DiannFloydBOEHM.com.
Beautiful, Diane. So
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank your team and Alcini for putting it together. And just one more soundbite on that is that for people listening, Ron Parker from the Philippines, but also lives in Dubai. So we have Tagalog, and in the background, you're in it, and you pray for peace along with different people from different parts of the world. And that's what we want to do, is have people email to me, put on Instagram, peace in their reel for 50 seconds, can go up and just pray for peace.
Fantastic. I'll put that into the comments. Diane, our guests are backstage. I can see them. Yay. Before we bring them out, we do have a couple of comments from a friend of mine and yours in the platform. Adam, hello. So nice to have you with us again today. He types, hello, this topic really hits home with my kids. And he has a follow-up question, which we'll ask our guests. I have a question. Do you believe people with autism have a lot of creativeness to show over those people that do not have autism? Good question. All right, we'll bring that back up. Diane, I'm going to spotlight you to introduce our guests.
Oh, it's very exciting. They actually are friends of mine. And Julie and Grant, they've written a children's book, so we definitely need to have them on the corner bookstore. But also their Grant's artwork is phenomenal. And it fits in with fashion and fitness and leisure or fashion, fitness, travel, and leisure, because we all need great artwork. And I have some of his pieces in our home. And so let's spotlight Grant and his amazing ability to create unique art for us and his mom and their beautiful story. So I'll let them share the rest. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. And thank you, Adam, for your comments. Let's welcome, without further ado, Grant and Julie to the program. Hi. You're on mute.
Hello.
All right. There you go. Hi. Woo, technology is
Some
working.
technical difficulties, but we made it.
And they're in Wisconsin, by the way.
That's right.
Welcome from Wisconsin. It's so nice to have you here. This is the first time on USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. So welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
So our topic today is art and autism. And I know Grant and Julie together individually, you've had quite a journey. And first of all, people are not always in tune with what's going on. People might not necessarily understand what autism is. So I'd like to start there. And if one of you could give an explanation to our audience who's not sure, and then we'll get into your story. How does that sound?
That's fine. That's good. Autism. Oh, are we there? Autism.
You're there. Yes.
Okay. Autism can be defined in many different ways. But one thing we know is when you meet one person with autism, you've only met one person with that type of autism. They're all different. However, I think what stands out the most is the social challenges that they all have. That's most, prominent in all of them. But they're all different, from extreme anxieties like Grant has to flapping your hands, tippy-toeing, obsessive chattering, which we call echolalic. It's different for everyone. And I've worked with hundreds of kids with autism, and it's not all the same, except for that social challenge that most of them have, like 95% of them.
Thank you for explaining that to our audience. I appreciate it. Grant, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
All I know is what I'm going to tell you is if you having autism, I do not let autism define me. I define my autism my way.
Good for you.
Fantastic. I love that. Diane?
Oh, Julie, what did you think of Adam's question?
Please, the question again.
The question is, do you believe people with autism have a lot of creativeness to show over those people that do not have autism?
No, no, I believe we all have creative abilities. However, what I've seen in the autistic, community is that they're highly focused. They're very focused.
Very well.
Sometimes they don't even know when to stop. When Grant was younger, we could not slam the door because then Grant would lose his train of thought. So I believe we all are creative geniuses, but what I've seen in the autism community is, they're highly focused, and they have that ability to just stay, like in Grant's case, 8 hours could go by and he thinks it's only been an hour. I mean, it is amazing. But no, we're all creative. God made it that way.
Thanks. That's what I thought too, but I thought maybe you should answer that. Is that one of your pictures, Grant, behind us?
He's not done.
Yeah, it's not finished just yet, but it's coming along.
Beautiful.
What do you guys think of it?
It's
Wow.
absolutely beautiful. I love it.
Well, he used
Of course, from all I do use recycled materials, mostly paper. Of course, I'm best known for using puzzle pieces, which are right here, and of course here as well. Paper from magazines, calendars, wallpapers, and of course beads and jewelry as well. Anything that's recyclable, I can use it. That's being an eco artist.
Yeah.
Grant, I'm so glad that you mentioned that about being an eco artist. And there's so many topics that we could address today, but we have a short time. There's autism, there's cancer, there's your art, there's sustainability, there's charity. I mean, your journey, your books. We could go on and on.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn it over to Grant and Julie. What would you like to start with today as we have our discussion?
Well, since we have such a short time, just to let you know that Grant was diagnosed late in life. He was actually 6 years old. Most of our individuals can be diagnosed around 2-3 years old. So, and in the year 2000, We didn't have Google, so I didn't understand autism. I was newly divorced and didn't understand autism, but people stepped up, my girlfriends, they stepped up, helped me to understand his particular autism, which is called Asperger's. And you don't recognize that right away when they're smaller. When our kids are smaller, it's extreme autism. You have to help them through early intervention to find their way. And of course, early intervention helped me find Grant. He was always a wonderful artist, loved his paper, loved his crayons and his drawing. He did not start tearing till he was about preteen, 9-10 years old. And he was tearing paper as an obsession, to where he would always get in trouble for tearing everybody's paper because he wanted color. He was looking for the colors. And I was even asked to have Grant stop tearing paper. But as a single mom going home every night from working with 100 kids with autism, I just wanted to go home, take a nap. So I gave him magazines. And, though there was a message, he had a hidden message no one could decipher until I gave him those magazines, and he learned about collaging in school. And so what you see today, his artwork went from, we started out at $50. Now his artwork sells at $24,000.
Wow.
Woohoo! Yes, I love that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm so glad I got some art before that happened.
Yes. Yes.
So one of the takeaways from that, and Diane, you've spoken about this before as a teacher, you, Grant, were being admonished for tearing and ripping, which ended up becoming a creative outlet for you. And now you're all over with all these interviews, inspiring people, giving back. And Diane said that before, like when we're growing up, someone tells us not to do something and we remember that, we're like, oh, that's bad me, bad, I shouldn't be doing that. So I think there's a lesson to be learned there, that we have to recognize what we are admonishing someone for doing, because in your case, you became this eco artist. You're inspiring people all over the world.
Oh, yes. And even we speak all over the world. And one particular presentation we had, I remember these parents looking at us, interesting like. And when they came up to us, that, because Grant designs using puzzles. When they came up to us, they said that they had been punishing their daughter for tearing up puzzles. And they heard our story and they're never going to do that again. And I said, you may have the next eco artist.
That's right.
Because Grant recycles materials to create his masterpieces. So, we touch people in autism, and our new but not so happy journey is that Grant has been diagnosed with cancer. And we have found, even in this short 2 months, we're touching people through that story too.
Absolutely. We were just on the show right before this, and one of our guests was sharing that if you're born after 1960, Diane, I think that 1 out of every 2 people will be diagnosed with cancer.
It's amazing.
Wow.
I think a lot has to do with diet. And Julie, didn't you discover you really paid attention to what y'all were putting in your bodies, and that helped? Or am I remembering incorrectly?
No, Grant is stubborn. But, he continues his regular diet, and he's gained weight, by the way. He lost weight in the beginning, about 30 pounds, and now he's gained 10 pounds. Still the same diet, but moderation. But we added new supplements to his diet. And, I don't know if that's working. We stay on a consistent ritual every night, from meditation to prayer to healing. And of course, his supplements, and, we don't take anything away from the ritual, because Grant, the tumor is shrinking, but we will add to the ritual if we have time. And we could be exhausted and we will still do the ritual, because something's working. And the love people have given us, that, if nothing else, that's one thing we don't want to lose, is the love.
No, definitely not. I have to say, Fond du Lac, ever since moving here, felt so much love, so much support. This is a great little place.
Yeah, we moved here 8 months ago from Houston, Texas.
Tell us about the community and how they've been so welcoming and supportive of you.
Well, back in Texas, of course, we were going through the COVID shutdown. And our friend Brian, we met in California. We talked to him through Zoom. We met Dr. Matt Dahl, and they gave us an opportunity to come down to Fond du Lac to see the Trefford Center. They're opening up a new studio. And of course, it helped me go to college in Moraine Park. It was such a great opportunity. We decided to take it, and we took a little road trip down to, go through the states, all the way up from Texas to Wisconsin. And ever since we got here, like I said, they've shown us so much love, so much support, even as I go through my cancer. These are great people. And SSM Health is very, very great hospital.
Right. SSM Health is the hospital here. The Trefford Center is affiliated with SSM Health, and the Trefford Center is a school for autism. So they work with little ones from like 3 years old on up, and they are opening up a new media production center for young adults like Grant. And Grant is in graphic designing, acting, and voiceovers. And they're opening up this amazing facility to cater to performing arts and visual arts. That should be opened about June. The big debut might be in the fall, but we're very excited about
Very
that.
excited.
And Grant's been attending college while he's been here.
I'm currently on my second semester. I had to go to part-time, though, because of my cancer, but I'm still taking my classes.
That's
What an
fantastic.
inspiration. I just want to congratulate both of you. And I know you've had so many interviews and been asked so many questions. And what I'm wondering is, dealing with the cancer, at creating your art, speaking to people around the world through technology, how has this spotlight on the two of you, how's this fame affecting you, impacting your lives?
Fame? Fame is a lot of work.
Yeah.
We don't mind hard work as long as we're doing it with love. And then it's not hard, but it is a lot of work. And Grant, I find time when he needs to rest and sleep, and then he does his art, but his art keeps him from thinking of, things he doesn't want to think about. He just wants to do his art. We're not interested in the fame. It helps Grant. I'm doing it for his future, because I know that 85% of the individuals with autism are unemployed as they get older. And so my goal is to teach parents, find that talent and teach that talent so that they have something to fall back on when you're no longer here or cannot take care of them. That is my message with autism. My message with cancer is that, Grant started out with a persistent cough. In Houston, we thought allergies. Went to the doctors. It was COVID time, so we couldn't get into primary unless he had COVID. So we went to urgent cares. And again, they thought allergies, Flonase, whatever. And it would come and it would go. He never had sore throat. He never had inflammation, just this persistent hacking cough. My message is, don't ignore something like that.
No.
It went too long off and on. Of course, COVID did not help. And we were told later that a lot of diagnoses were delayed. His was delayed. He was stage 2 Hodgkin lymphoma cancer when we got to Wisconsin. We thought the fresh air would do him good, and it did, but he still had that annoying cough. And that's something not talked about much, even in the symptoms, this persistent cough. And we have told our story, and I had one mom say, I heard Grant's story, and my son had this cough. We went to the doctor, and they found a black mark on his lungs. And I haven't heard the story since then. That was only a few weeks back, but only because we told our story, because I kind of I'm not angry at myself or Grant. I don't know who I'm angry at, but if we had just known about a persistent cough, you hear fever, sweating, and nausea, all that other stuff that, one too many times, but never about a persistent cough, especially in Houston where there's pollen everywhere. So that's my takeaway is with autism, find them a talent, teach their talent, and or let them tell you their talent. And then with cancer, our particular cancer, Hodgkin lymphoma, don't ignore something like a persistent cough that you think is an allergy.
If allergy medicines or the cough drops don't work, and if you're still getting this cough, you might want to get that looked at.
Yeah. I think COVID, because of the shutdown, we weren't approached by anyone for the most part every day that could have said, hey, that's a persistent cough. You should have that checked out, because we were all locked down.
Interesting.
I just have a follow-up question about the cough for people who are out there. Is this the type of cough where you have a scratchy throat, or it sounds like a deep lung, when you have the flu or something?
Nope.
No.
It was just like like I'm doing now. That was it. And no info, because cancer is silent at times, and it attacked his thymus gland, which is right here, and that's part of the lymphatic system. And it wasn't COVID, no fever. And in fact, COVID was negative when he did take his test. It was just this, when you take in too much pollen. He didn't have runny, eyes or nose. It was just that annoying hacking, and it wasn't inflamed and it wasn't sore. So if that's my 1% little takeaway from this all, it could make 100% difference for somebody.
Yes, it can.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing awareness and light to that. That's really important.
Okay.
I have your website pulled up in the background. I don't know if you want to walk through it, but I'd love to share it with our viewers. And I'd love to talk about your jewelry as well as an eco artist. Can you tell us about this?
It's like I said, being an eco artist, I can use recycled materials from paper, puzzles, and of course beads and jewelry. During the COVID shutdown, I had all this extra time on my hands, so I created my jewelry art collection. Normally, it would have taken me months to create a certain piece like the dragon or the elephant, but because I had all this time on my hands, I was able to get these done within a month less and make this entire collection.
Right. And the collection right now is at the gallery. Grant's having a show for Autism Acceptance Month for April. So we only have one piece here.
Oh,
And
Oh my gosh.
that's gorgeous.
I can't see the
Stunning.
color, but I know to move it in. And
Wow.
it's a crown that Grant worked on in 2020. I hope I got this on camera for you.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, 5 years of collecting jewelry that people had given Grant, and he hadn't had time to work on it until we got shut down. Then it's like, well, let's get rid of this jewelry, because we knew we had to move, and jewelry's heavy. So we had over 100 pounds of jewelry.
Whoa. Oh my goodness. Now that is a unique, one-of-a-kind piece.
Yes. The pieces he can make over and over are the crosses. But this lovely lady gave us like 1930 Hollywood jewelry. And there was gold and silver in that jewelry. Well, Grant created crosses that have gold and silver in them, because we weren't going to sit there and scrape silver and gold. So yeah, I wish we had him here, but we don't. We have him on the website. You can probably see him on the website. But yes, that was a jackpot getting that jewelry.
That is fabulous. I just love it. I am pulling up the website right now. Is that okay if we share it?
Sure.
Of course.
Like sometimes, I clean the jewelry. Grant wants nothing to do with cleaning. I have OCD. He's got the art abilities. But, we're looking at all this jewelry saying, what's all this junk? Turned out to be, those pieces run $5,000 on up.
Well worth it.
Yes.
I've got the website pulled up here, and I'm actually going to page down, so I won't be here for a second. But if you want to just share anything, tell me when to stop.
Go to the slideshow. That'll probably be the easiest to explain about Grant. So this is his. Go on back up there, Jacqueline. Just right
Okay.
Here's the slideshow.
There it is.
So
Yep.
you see his art pieces. We sell them in prints, canvas prints, and originals. These two happen to be sold. And then the next slide. So this is his jewelry collection. So hundreds and hundreds and thousands of pieces of jewelry. And tell him about the dragon and why.
The dragon is named Devog Unleashed. Now, the reason why I named him Devog, take the word COVID, and how would you say it backwards?
Oh,
Right.
Of course,
Devog the dragon.
and of course, there's Baby Mandela, got my llama, and of course, Gemma, my unicorn. All part of the COVID art collection, my jewelry art collection.
Right.
Stunning.
The next one.
Now, can you share with us what are some? So I see in the elephant we've got some beading going on. What are some of the other materials that you're using?
Wow.
Of course,
If
of course,
you
I'm
remember everything.
like I. Well, of course, I'm best known for my puzzle pieces. If you look closely at the dragon, all that fireball in his hand, that's all puzzle pieces. A glow in the dark puzzle, actually.
Wow.
So
And of course,
cool.
got the scales. Those are actually the backs of my mom's contact lens cases. Foil.
The foil that comes right off.
Oh
That
my
is so
gosh.
clever.
How creative.
Yeah,
Not-
but tell me how you use puzzles. That's his claim to fame.
See, what I do is I take a puzzle piece one at a time, and I just peel the prints right off. That way, it's nice and paper thin. If I try working when it's thick, it's a little more challenging. However, with the raw pieces left over, I can use those in different ways. You can't tell with the wings, but on the dragon's wings, there's a bit of a bone structure. So if you were to look at it from an angle, there's a bit of a 3D effect.
I see it. Now, how long did it take you to create these pieces?
Like I said, this was done during the COVID shutdown. So
Yes.
these pieces individually would have taken me maybe a month, maybe 2. But because I had all the time on my hands, I was able to get those in less time, less than a month.
Less than a
12
month for each
pieces
one.
in 7 months.
Whew,
Wow.
outstanding. It's beautiful. Should we go?
It would
Should we
take me
move on?
like 50 hours. I mean, like 50 years, you know,
50
because
years.
the glue.
And then
Grant, you are focused.
and this just we did a lot of presentations, getting his name out there, the brand out there. I told someone just the other day, our first 2 years, every year we did about 30 to 40 shows all over the state of Texas. And then we started branching out. We were being called to come to New York, California, all over. And then, right when we were ready to rock and roll, COVID shut everybody down. So those are our presentations. We bring our books and our art. And we are keynote speakers at conferences too. So this is Grant at an early age. I think he's about 16 and winning. He's already won 2 grand champions at the rodeo. And he's working on a piece here. Tell him what you used on that one.
Caribbean. Now, there's a reason why I call them the Caribbean now. Though I use wallpaper, I also use over 65 posters of the Pirates of the Caribbean to create this piece. That's given the name, the Caribbean Owl. It was the 4th movie poster.
When you look closely at the moon, the pirate ships are in there.
Nice.
Oh yeah! Wow.
And then the wing was
that's actually the mermaid's hair.
The mermaid's hair.
It's beautiful.
So that's how he recycles. And it's affordable, parents.
That's right. Not to mention, if you're working with paper, if you make a mistake, don't worry. Just get some more paper and go right on top of it.
And what kind of glue?
And of course, I use clear glue.
Clear glue. That's the secret sauce. And we've traveled around teaching kids to create art, eco art like Grant. And when they see the clear glue, it just they just love it. It's like working with thick water, and they can see the paper. When I first bought Grant white glue and a white canvas, he went crazy trying to find his paper. It was all white.
Yeah.
But the clear glue, I just stumbled across, and turns out Elmer's was the first one to come out with the clear glue, like in 2008, and we started in 2009. Had no idea.
Perfect timing.
He's the first in glue, the first in puzzle pieces.
First eco artist.
Yeah, well, there's others, but he's moving up there quick.
But there are a lot of amazing artists out there. I will say that.
Why don't you tell them what you used in these pieces?
These, of course, my Mardi Gras pieces. They're very, very colorful because Mardi Gras. That background on the big one, Simon the Fool, that's entirely out of puzzles.
Wow.
Raw puzzles, actually. Like I said, once I peel the print, I have all these raw puzzles. This is what I can do with them. Of course, they're raw, so I did paint on them, but that's what you can do with recycled materials. Even if you just use them.
Wallpaper, specialty paper, fabric, and that piece is huge. It's a 30 by 40.
And of course, beads all across the background as well.
Yep.
How about the shoes?
That's just glitter paper, right?
Yep, glitter paper and specialty paper.
You gotta remember, I was a teacher. I taught hundreds of kids, and I'm not a hoarder, okay, people? I have OCD. I have OCD, and everything's in order. Grant just has to go to the drawer and look for certain colors, and he finds it.
Ah,
I
there it
don't
is.
think this business would be where it's at if I didn't have my OCD, because Grant wants nothing to do with all that.
Magnificent. And what is here on the mask?
The mask is also entirely out of puzzle pieces as well. Those are actually the prints.
Beautiful. All right, let's see what we have next.
The sunflowers. End of summer sunflowers, I call them. I call them that because if you look at the table, you can see the petals are coming down. So that signifies it. But there is an inspiration behind that. And that would be Vincent van Gogh's sunflowers.
And
After seeing his sunflowers at one of his art exhibits, and when it came down to Houston, I was inspired to create my own sunflowers.
I love the fact that it's 3-dimensional. That's so cool.
Oh, yes.
All those little yellow petals are actually from National Geographic.
From their magazine or from where?
The front cover, the edge of National Geographic.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
And yeah, so he was inspired by Van Gogh, and then he went on to create Starry Night, which he calls Stars at Night. What's the interesting fact about Stars at Night?
I'm going to tell you this. When what the interesting fact about Starry Night, when Vincent van Gogh was, getting into his head, how he created, drawing it down, he was in the insane asylum.
And so he was in the insane asylum. So looking out the window, what did he forget to draw?
Yeah, the bars on his window.
That's a big miss.
We forgot the bars.
Oh my
Red
goodness.
Stars Night is made mainly out of puzzles and lace fabric.
There is one thing that is different, and that would be the St. Remy city below. I took the city out, but I kept the lights. The city.
So he's inspired by Van Gogh.
It's
We have
absolutely magnificent. Let me see.
We drive around in a minivan. Guess what we call it?
Ooh.
Grant Van Gogh.
I love it.
But I said, never put magnets on your car or anything that your art is in here, because then it becomes a target. And I tell Grant, Picasso, they transported his art in an old, Pedro's food produce truck. No one knew that Picassos were in there. So never let them see your art.
Keeps it safe. Now, tell us, we see here about your virtual classes. Can you share more about that?
Well, right now,
that one.
Can you put
No, just what were you doing there?
Oh, right. I thought that was a video. Sorry. That's actually where I was showing the kids how to create, Christmas trees. Just, Santa needs our help decorate. It was a virtual video I was showing to the kids how they can do this, how they can use the paper, how they can use glue and a brush to create this. It was a step-by-step process, and it was fun too.
And it was COVID. It was
right.
December 2020. So I had to get creative. See, I don't have autism. I had to get creative. And to get creative, to keep his name out there, keep the brand out there. And now cancer has locked us down. We're doing virtual classes next month, teaching the kids how to make Ukraine flags, how to make sunflowers, and a snail. So we're moving forward with the virtual classes as well. We're just keeping that forward.
Congratulations.
More art pieces. Tell them about the horse.
See, I told you about the Caribbean owl, but that is Donjo the Appaloosa. Just the Appaloosa. I call him Donjo because he's actually a horse that I rode for autism therapy.
He's also
the piece I won in the Austin Rodeo Grand Championship for Eco Art.
Woo!
That's where everything got
Amazing.
started.
From that one win, teachers have called us asking me if I can teach their students how I do eco art and teach their students how to do it.
And not just elementary, colleges called us to teach their students.
And I teach people of all ages.
That's right. Senior assistant living.
Seniors, I was going to say there's value for everyone.
That's where we get our puzzles.
That's right.
We talk a lot on this platform about how art and creative skills really help people with anxiety and depression and a multitude of things. So it's really for everyone.
Yeah, you'll see that in the next one, JACALYN.
Okay, Let me go forward.
But before we talk about the next one,
Okay.
you said something I think so. I want to. The horse helps you with autism. Is that what you said?
You wrote 'em.
Yeah, I did. I wrote him. I wrote him for hot desk. I'm sorry, I just stumbled there. I did write him.
Yeah, he rode the horse for his therapy sessions.
Oh,
And one time I remember I was not scolding Grant, but I was on his case about something, and we were heading to the horse therapy. And then afterwards, it was over, and we're in the car. And what did you remember telling me, Grant?
Well, when I rode Donjo, I felt relaxed.
He called it.
It was like meditation.
He said it was like meditation. And mind you, Donjo was not allowed to trot, just walk.
just
All
walk.
Grant wanted, and that's all Grant needed.
Mhm.
It's so interesting because I actually took riding lessons 5 or 6 summers ago, and I was a nervous wreck, and the horse knew it. And I ended up, I paid for them, and I never went back.
Oh yeah, the horse knows. The horse does know.
Definitely. So
That
that's
one
great.
knew Grant very well. So like even horses, they know I can trot, I can run with this one, but Grant, we just one step at a time.
That's beautiful. Thanks for sharing.
Yes, thank you. Okay, we're moving on to Grant teaching students eco art techniques.
That's right. Like I said, I could teach anyone of all age, whether you're a child or a senior. Anyone can do eco art the way I do.
And when we were in Texas, what did we teach them to make?
Back in Texas, we taught them how to make the Texas flag.
I told Grant, this is the easiest thing you could teach anyone to make.
It's
a
just
Texas
3
flag.
colors: red,
But
white,
then-
and blue.
But then the Ukraine flag beat the Texas flag. I said, "Oh, that'll be easy. Just make sure you don't get upside down." Blue on top, blue on top. So yeah, we have traveled and we have taught children and adults how to eco art, how to recycle, what they can use for recycling, and telling Grant's story. And we just haven't added something else to add to it: autism and cancer. But we're beating that too.
So powerful. All right. Anything else you want me to look at on the website?
I'm trying to see his website.
How about
Well,
this?
we have a show coming up. Yes, thank you. That starts April 1st through the 30th. That's Autism Acceptance Month. And Grant will be at the gallery here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. And he is to appear April 23rd. That's all pending on how he feels, but I'll be there for sure.
At the Gallery Frame Shop.
Yes, on 1st and Main.
All right.
I love there's an Autism Acceptance Month.
You might show that, Jacqueline. You want to hit
This-
that video? That's how Grant works.
All right. Let's take a look.
Quick.
Well, Grant's pro now, and needs to get out and do more shows, get out there and sell his art because you're a pro.
Thank you, Temple.
That's Dr. Temple Grandin, most well-known person with autism, our mentor, the legend. HBO made a movie after her. Time Magazine voted her 100 most influential people in the world. And it happens to be Grant's mentor and our good friend.
And she is a very good friend. She has taught me so much. And even when I was going through cancer right now, she still supports me.
Grant, what does it mean to you to have a mentor?
Having him, I'm sorry, I got a little choked up there. This is something I like to say a lot when I talk about Dr. Temple Grandin. She is not just my mentor; she is our mentor, and we are.
No, the other way.
Oh, right. I always
Yeah,
say
you're right. I messed it up. I'm sorry, Grant.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry. Go ahead.
she is a mentor to not just me, but to a lot of people, us, but we are her legacy.
It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And Julie, we can't see you off camera, just so you know.
Oh.
There you are. Hello. Welcome back, Julie.
Grant outgrew me. He outgrew me. He was
By the way, I loved that you made that video of of how you do what you do, and obviously the speed was increased. I don't know how much, but I thought, oh my gosh, just today. to shred the paper. Like that takes so much time. There's so much work that goes into each of these unique, beautiful creations.
That's when he first started using grocery bags too. So we recycle grocery bags. Well, he does. I just find them and he stuffs them in there, and he creates a muscle. He creates the muscles in the animals.
I was originally going to use puzzles for the muscle effect, but if I did that, the piece would get too heavy. It'd be a little challenging to take around from place to place.
Yeah. So now it's grocery bags. And what are you working on? What are your commission piece you're working on now that we're going to unveil in the fall?
Ooh, I'm currently unveil in the fall. I'm going to unveil the Goya can.
So the Goya Food Company commissioned Grant to create the Goya can, which, 20th century was the Andy Warhol Campbell soup can. Now the 21st century, being about millennial and recycling, is the Goya food can.
Wow.
And it's made entirely out of Goya brochures. What else?
Goya brochures. Of course, got my signature puzzle pieces as well. A lot of it is from Goya. That's what makes it the Goya can. And of course, there is actually Goya beans.
Yeah, we have beans on it too. So we can't show you because we have to unveil it to Goya first. But,
we'll be sure
I look forward to it
on our show, right, Dr. Jackson?
It is amazing, and they want to. We're going to be promoting it all internationally because, like Grant says, move over, Campbell soup.
Can you share a little with us about how that partnership with Goya came to fruition?
Oh, that's be an angel. Go ahead.
Well,
go ahead, Grant.
To understand that story, I have to tell you this one first. It was at a Be an Angel gala, and of course, I was dressed as Haas Cartwright. Haas Cartwright from Bonanza. So usually at art shows like that, for live auctions, I would give out a piece. This one was my horse piece, and these would go for about maybe $4,000 or $5,000. But I was hearing all of these other auction items like vacations and places to travel to were going for $10,000, $20,000. So I was nervous, but I got up there, I gave my little speech, and I heard 5,000. It went to 10,000. I was like, okay, but then it went to 20,000, and then it went to 30,000. Blew my mind, and it was Bob Uane that purchased the art piece.
The president of Goya, he bought the horse piece,
and from that one moment, led to the connection to the Goya can.
Wow!
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
I have to tell you, Dr. Jacqueline, Grant makes a great Haas Cartwright. I mean, that costume was amazing.
Right there. Grant. Fix it, Grant. Fix it. Oh, they did that. Okay, I can't see what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I put you on the spotlight. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay.
I don't know.
Yes, we can see it. Absolutely beautiful.
He creates horses, and he likes wildlife. Grant likes animals, and he's working on a snail right now as a commission piece. Oh, and a dog. He's working on a dog. I'm going to show you, but it's going to blow your mind because you can't see. I told Grant, that looks like Predator. It's going to look like this.
Oh, awesome. So beautiful.
But he's working with wallpaper and creating the hair. But for now, it looks like Predator.
It's going to be fun when he comes back and shows us the end. Grant, I was lucky enough to be in your home when you had finished King Kong. And Dr. Jacqueline, the way he takes, Grant takes plastic bags and you made the texture. Isn't that correct? Am I remembering right, Grant?
Yeah, I remember.
It was all wallpaper and a few magazines.
Yes.
Oh, it was wallpaper. I was thinking it was the plastic bags.
And you saw how he was shredding it through the machine, the shredding machine, which they don't make those anymore. They make the crosscut shredders.
Oh.
So when I see one, I buy one because, Grant abuses them.
If I see one, I'll put one aside. If I'd known that, I would have given you my mother's.
This gives you a really good look of his puzzles.
Wow.
Wow. Stunning.
I'm going to turn it has to be paper thin so that now the butterfly he has as a 3D. Sorry, Grant.
It's okay.
But yes.
Grant, I want to ask you this question. I'm envisioning you standing there with your piece and hearing about the trips and everything else, and you're thinking, wow. And then it's 5,000, it's 10,000, it's 15, 20. What did that do to your self-esteem? What did that do to you as a person when you
Raise the prices on his other art.
Yeah, exactly.
But overall, that night, when it went to 30,000, I was blown away, but I was also very honored.
Yeah, and Being Angel said that he is the highest auction piece they've ever, earned, and so they call it the Grant Maun-yay night.
Oh.
But then my job is the business person. Oh, that price just went up. Well, like I've always told Grant, your art is for someday you need to buy a house, you need to buy a car, your wedding day, and heaven forbid, medical bills. And
Right.
1 out of 4, but not the one we wanted.
True.
So we
Julie, if I remember this correctly, if people wanted Grant y'all to make a cross, for example, I know I'm saving some pieces of jewelry from my mom, right? I can turn around and hire Grant when he
Yes.
has time to make a cross out of my mom's jewelry. Is that correct?
Yes, and I was thinking about you the other day because he's made a couple for the gallery, and because he's faster at it, he knows what he's going to put on, how fast to do it. We try to keep that price where he's affordable, and then there are some I don't want to sell that's not as affordable. But right now, the private collection is on sale.
Okay, good. But I wanted people to know that they can hire Grant.
Yeah, save your jewelry, or in this case with the dog, she even sent Grant the dog had passed away. She sent Grant the dog tag,
Oh,
and he'll put that.
Oh, that's so sweet.
that's powerful.
So, Grant, for people who are watching now or they're watching on the replays, this is going to be out there forever and ever, and they think, you know what, this is so cool. I want to support his work and I want to get a custom piece. Is there a lower end range for people? Because they're hearing, people hearing 30,000, like, oh, what is a lower end range?
People can purchase my originals. There are some for sale, but we also have prints as well.
Sure. Well, we have prints starting at $20, and we have commission pieces that can start at $500. And if it's smaller, I'll even, negotiate that, especially if they supply the jewelry, then it could be around $200 because Grant has mastered his techniques.
Fantastic. And I was looking on your website. Is there a place where people can place an order, or how do you prefer that they reach out to you to do this?
That one they'd have to call because their creativity and Grant's creativity, I have to mesh them together and see what will work, if it works at all. Because I could tell you, if they want, and we've had requests for portraits and family faces, and Grant's like, nope.
Yeah.
He does not do portraits. He did Mount Rushmore and he won grand champion, but he's learning more to do silhouettes than full portraits.
Oh,
Paper's
nice.
not that easy.
No,
He's not there yet. Remember, he's only 26, so he's got to go.
But also remember this, you're honing your craft. You're focusing on what it is you do really well. And that's a winning mindset.
That's right. But then, like I just said, there's always something to learn.
Right. And people always say, Grant, why do you give people all your techniques? Why do you show them what to do?
Because I'm always one step ahead.
So much to recycle. We haven't even recycled, wood pieces. We just recycle mainly paper, and then he's moved to fabric, some pressed wood, jewelry, contact lenses. So he's always one step ahead.
I just love your energy, Grant. I love, I interview people all the time, and people are faced with challenges. And in many cases, they can't see past it, and they're angry, they're bitter, they're afraid. And you are just taking life in stride, and you're making lemonade out of lemons, or whatever the expression is. I'm just so proud of you and happy for you. And the same thing with you, Julie.
What I tell you the other day, Grant, you don't have time to be sick. We're busy. We got to get this stuff done. But no, and I thank you for that. And that's what it's about, is staying positive. I've always been a positive person. I raised Grant to think positive thoughts. And, we were right away. And actually it was after talking to DIANN, cancer's gone. We're going to say cancer's gone. We just have a message just to share. But for the most part, it needs to go now.
Yes. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Now, something else I want to touch on before we close out is the relationship between the two of you. How beautiful is that?
Well, there were moments. I used to tell Grant, when we get home, when we get home, because he was about 5, and I used to count. He'd be on the other side of the recess. What was it? The playground, and he's making noise, and I'm like, "That's 1," and he's saying, I say, "That's 2," and by the time I got to about, "You're gonna get 6 spankings when we get home." So, but I always gave him the option to work them off. So he could decide his little best thing, yes, ma'am, or thank you, and okay, that's 5. Okay, that's 4. That's 3. That's 2. That okay, you're done. Because I didn't want to spank him, but oh my gosh! Or he'd say, "What time?" His obsession was time. Is it time to go in? Is it time to go in? Especially if the thunder was coming, because Grant had sensory issues to thunder, and he was driving everyone crazy. And we'd say, "We have 10 minutes, Grant. We have 10 minutes." And he was so obsessed with it. Finally, I said, "Now we have 12. Now we have 15 minutes."
That was clever.
And he'd stop, but he'd go sit in the corner and just wait for that thunder. And even though we brought him in 5 minutes, I had to get through to Grant without hurting him or making him feel bad. Like when he had obsessive echolalic, obsessive talking, I blamed it on the annoying thing in his head. I didn't blame Grant. I blamed it on something else. And then Grant, I'd say, "You need to go talk to an annoying thing and make it go away." And he says, "Okay, I will." And it did. It went away because it wasn't about Grant. It was about something else he could visualize. That was the problem.
It's so smart.
So smart.
Yeah.
Grant's not the problem.
No, not at all. And that's one thing that, Dr. Jacqueline and I met them almost 5 or 6 years ago, right, Julie? And it was that evening, and Grant was giving a speech. And if I remember correctly, it was like one of his first times he's out in public on stage. And listening to Grant, you were just so magnificent. If you remember, I have a picture. I still have that picture of us. I treasure it. And but then watching, because I love to watch before people go on stage. And so watching you and your mom before you went on stage to speak, you could just see the electricity and the magic that you both share with one another. And that actually was the moment that I knew but Grant hadn't even spoken yet, but because of that magnetism backstage and working together, I was just, and I didn't even know your story yet. I was just like, yeah, I need to know those people. They're beautiful people. And I congratulate you, Grant, on how far you have come.
It's definitely the mama bear cub syndrome here. Don't touch my baby. Don't make fun of my baby. I've seen them do it. I've heard them bully him. And so it's like when he was going into public school from an autism school, I had to prepare the school for him because they weren't ready for autism. So I wrote a book. It was called Dear Journal, I Have Autism. And so they kind of knew, don't mess with her because she'll write us in her book, her next one. Which, speaking of books, we have books. And it started with a piece of art that Grant created. And then I named it Grant. I begged him, name it Grant. It reminds me of you. Notice the puzzle pieces stand for not autism, stands for his artwork because that's what he uses. And then we were asked if we would write other books. So I write topics about childhood cancer, dyslexia, autism. You can find them on our website.
I'm just speechless because between the three of you, I don't think any of you are getting any sleep, and you're putting such wonderful content into the world.
Grant is.
Okay, good, Grant. I'm glad to hear that. So I'm wondering, as we come to an end, there are people out there who are struggling. There are people who have all kinds of dis-ease. They have been misplaced, displaced. They have lost their home. They've lost their income. They've been diagnosed with something. What would you share with them? If you look into the camera, what can you share with people about your journey that's relatable to what everyone's going through?
You want that one?
Basically, what I can say about that is that there will be moments where things will be tough. It's never going to be an easy journey, But if you have a strong support group, they will help you cross the finish line.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Cross the finish line.
Once again, I have my handkerchief out. So. Oh, it's been a day of tears. That was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Julie, anything you'd like to add to that?
Well, again, thank you for having us, and you're just that piece of the puzzle that's helping cross the finish line. Thank you very much.
Aw.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. We've been sharing this throughout the show. This is your website address. Is there any other information you'd like me to put out there for people to know or contact you?
Social media, everything is Jigsaw Grant, just like you see here. Jigsaw puzzles. Oops, green screen. JigsawGrant.com. I've learned early on people couldn't spell eco. They spelled echo. So we changed the name to Jigsaw Grant. And it's all across the board that way. And we want to thank everyone for supporting us and believing in Grant and believing in me, because I'm always behind the scenes. That's how I like it. And I hold up Grant's spotlight everywhere he goes.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. Seriously, it's just, my heart is full.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you'll come back. And we want to see the dog finished, right, Dr. JACALYN?
Yes, we want to see you on the corner bookstore also. We want to add more to your plate.
Yeah, when you want to tell people to recycle, go out and recycle and create eco art.
That's right.
And can people send like I have some extra jewelry I want to send y'all.
I love that. It gets expensive. Postage is expensive. If you don't want to send it, great. Donate it to a local school and tell Grant's story.
Okay.
Oh, I love that. That's fantastic.
Thank
you again. We're actually, when we close out today, we're going to run a clip that's all about sustainability. So stay tuned for that. Grant and Julie, God bless you both. Thank you for being here, and keep on, keep on. I'm going to keep crying.
No, that's all you can do. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I love you both.
Bye. Diane, you're going to have to take this show over. Okay. I'm going to spot.
They were amazing, right?
They are amazing. It's just,
and we only heard a tiny bit of their story, and just think where they'll be going. It's huge, right?
Huge. It is. And I love that story about one piece of work, one piece of art, and just thinking, oh, these other people are getting this, that, and the other. And he gets more than all of them. And from that moment on.
Yeah, he was so nervous, like, oh my gosh, this is hard. And then all of a sudden it's like, what? But you should have seen him as Hoss Cartwright too. Oh my gosh. But what a proud moment and exciting moment for him, and well deserved. He's a hard worker. His mom's a hard worker. You just don't do that overnight. It takes a lot of time, focus, and I was happy to hear about the horse too. I've seen that piece. It's beautiful, and but I didn't realize, they probably told me the story, but it just shows you it takes many steps, therapy, so forth, to get, where you are. But, I think it was his mom who discovered his gift in the way he was doing the pieces. And so, yeah, more to the story. You'll have to have him on some of your other shows, because I know they fit in.
Absolutely. They're welcome to come back. And Diane, before we close out, you're wearing a very beautiful piece of jewelry. Tell us a little bit about it.
I'm so proud of it. I hardly ever wear it. And then I thought, I'm going to wear this. So this was on Sex and the City. Sarah Jessica Parker wore it. And when a friend of mine was selling it, because she sells vintage jewelry and high quality jewelry. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. And I didn't get it the first time. And then it was still there. I was like, okay, yeah, I have to have it. It was meant for you.
It was meant for you. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. I never see those stones, right? Swarovski stones.
Swarovski crystals, yeah.
Crystals, yeah.
Isn't it beautiful on you? Absolutely. And Diane, I want people to know that I said this in the beginning, but in addition to being a co-host here, you're also an expert presenter on our Talking Heads platform, and you're an elevated listener here on USA Global TV. So for people who don't know what that means Diane's quite intelligent. She's very accomplished, and she's an excellent listener. She's someone you want to get to know. So Diane, can you tell us a little bit about your Talking Heads Head series and what people can expect to learn and find out from you.
Sure. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be one of your talking heads, Dr. JACALYN, and thank you so much for even having something like this for all of us who are on the shows. And my particular show concentrates on how to put together a story, whether it's vocal, audio, or written. And the different pieces of the puzzles. And so, for example, the last one I just did was all about creating bold characters and all the pieces of the puzzles it takes to make that character come alive. And next month, I think it's about imagination. And so my stories on Talking Heads is all about knowing you can tell your story, because we are all storytellers, but how to make it come alive for the person it's meant to read it. Thank you, Dr. JACALYN.
And Dianne, just to let our audience know, your Talking Head shows are on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And what is it, the third Wednesday of the month?
The third Wednesday of the month. That's right.
All right. I got that. Yeah, I got that going for me. All right. Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dianne. It's a pleasure having you here today. And I look forward to our show tomorrow, the Corner Bookstore.
Me too. Have a great day. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye. Thank you, everyone, whether you're watching on the live or on the replay. I'm really excited. This week, we have 25 shows. Can you imagine 25 live broadcasts? And each show, it just touches my heart. I've been crying today. I've got a whole, you're not even going to believe me, but I've got a whole thing of handkerchiefs here that belong to my dad, because people's stories are so moving and so touching. We just interviewed someone, 2 shows ago this morning. She actually escaped from Ukraine and left all of her artwork behind, her artwork that she designed. And she shared her story, what that was like, going on the back roads and being with her mother and not knowing if there was going to be enough petrol to get from one place to the next. And Grant's story here, it's so moving. And I'm so grateful that we have this platform. Our next show coming up is the Business Talk Show. And that's followed by 3 different segments of Talking Heads. So just to give you a little more information, Talking Heads are our platform where people have their own show. Dianne has her own show. Alcini, for example, Jean Keegan-Daly, and Mariska Duprier. They each have their own show for 30 minutes and present something about their knowledge, their experience, their expertise. And we're just really proud and happy to have them here. So thank you again for joining us. I'm going to play a clip that was provided by our expert correspondents out of London, and that is Ian Pelham-Turner and Helena Shard. And the name of the clip is the Earthshot Prize. So here it is. Let's take a look, and we'll be back for the Business Talk Show. Thank you so much.
Ours is a world of wonder. Every day it reminds us of its beauty. It touches us, teaches us, and astounds us. But it also warns us that what we throw away does not go away. That higher temperatures mean a lot more than longer summers. That we can no longer take life as we know it for granted. We are at a unique stage in our history. Never before have we had such an awareness of what we are doing to the planet. And never before have we had the power to do something about that. We face a series of...
My name is Nan.
Yeah.
From London town.
What?
You got a problem?
Yeah.
I'll take you down. 2 for 1 on Jaeger bombs. I'm violent, angry, dangerous.
are you thinking about, Nan?
Hold on. This don't look like Coventry. Everyone's orange.
It's Liverpool, Nan.
Oh, have a look.
You're illegally parked across 3 disabled bays.
I've got 3 disabled badges.
You shouldn't have 3.
And yet I do. Riddle me that.
I'll go and have a word with
Now,
her.
leave off. I'll deal with this. Now listen up, millennials.
Where's my Nan?
It's like being on the moon, isn't it, eh? Are we on the moon?
It's still Liverpool, Nan.
I love your Nan.
Nan?
Useless. No stamina.
You don't want to see Nell, that's fine, but I'd like to meet her.
Yeah, all right. But after we've had a quick drink, eh? Proper Guinness.
Guinness, it's 9 a.m.
When in Rome. Hello, straight out.
Unstoppable.